For a technology entrepreneur, it's so much easier, so much cheaper, so much faster to start a business. A laptop, a phone, an internet connection, an AWS subscription, even with free credits, and it costs you next to nothing. You can compete with Facebook, Microsoft, Google, whoever you want. On the other side, for the analog world, if you're going to start a barber shop, if you're going to be a plumber, if you're going to have a lawn mowing business, or you're going to start a lemonade stand and you're 9 years old, there are so many licenses and so many ridiculous requirements at the local, county, state, to a lesser extent federal level, that I think that's a real problem. On a private basis, I think there's a bubble, but it's regional. I think the valuations in Silicon Valley, particularly for no money startups, right? Kids who are just coming up with an idea and starting cheaply are just ridiculous. I mean, you know, it's like if you graduate from Stanford or Cal Berkeley, you know, you're asking for a $10 million valuation just walking in the door, but that same company in Dallas or Miami or Cincinnati or even Austin is half the price, if not 25% of the price. Anybody can compete, right? It's the, you know, I always say the business is the ultimate sport where you have to compete 24/7. But with an entrepreneur, there still has to be an ego. There has to be motivation. There has to be a commitment. You know, when I was getting started, you know, I could read books on Ted Turner or whoever and get a sense, but because it was so much more an analog world, you know, it was a little bit easier. And, you know, it should be easier now just to look up everything and understand it from Google, but I don't think entrepreneurs really have a sense of what's happened over the past 25, 30 years in technology, and I think that hurts them. You know, however you want to define artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, generalization, convolutional neural networks, regular neural networks, you know, you name it, that's everything. There'll be more changes over the next 5 to 7 years than we've seen in the past 30. It will impact every business. Data is the new gold, it's the new oil, it's the new plastics. CEOs roll their eyes and don't understand what you're talking about when you talk about these things. Yet, you know, you look at the top companies in that field, you know, the companies making the most investments are Facebook, Google, Amazon, Netflix, you know, Apple. They recognize that, you know, in order to stay ahead, they're going to have to do it. And I think, you know, as you look down the Fortune 500, the Standard & Poor's companies, the Dow companies, they get it. And they recognize that if they do it right, they'll be able to do more revenue with more profits with a third of the people. On one hand, it's the most exciting thing I've ever seen. And on the other hand, it's scary. You know, in the long term, I think it'll be net positive for the country, the world, and everybody. But like a lot of new technology in the short term, there's going to be a lot of painful disruption, and how we deal with that, particularly in turbulent times, will be very important.